trio.
Is that how it's
Pardon? Yeah, basically lots of flailing and hard work. Conoco here is one of our brilliant residents. He was originally a listener to the show, who ended up sending in a segment saying, "Hi guys, I should totally do this segment, it'll be wicked."
Sounds like me.
And it was. No, we got a couple of submissions, and Conoco here was spot on the money. We over that month we'd had like 4 or 5 guys who were like, "You need to clean up the audio levels, it's being boring, it's too long, yada. TinyCat here comes in and just goes, "Hey guys."
Yeah. The funny
I'm
thing
awesome.
is, I jumped in and dropped the TGV bomb. I just came in and, because I was really passionate about the new Ratchet & Clank game, I just thought I might review it for your show.
Yep.
Because it's pretty
Great.
cool.
Am I coming through? Nice and good?
Sure.
There you go.
Is this good enough?
Who here listens to podcasts in general? Okay. Who has listened to the ActFur show?
Has or hasn't?
Awesome.
Has?
Um,
Has the show?
Well, basically what I'll do is I'm supposed to give you guys the history of podcasting and all those sort of things. I thought I might instill your brain with knowledge and things. But yeah, we started the ActFurOnAir show about 2.5 years ago.
Right after
2.5 years
MiDFur
ago. Yeah, right after MiDFur X. Season 0.5 is a monstrosity that I actually tried to keep off the internet for a good 6 months until the other show host basically yelled at me until I put it online. What we used to do, and I tried to get this photo, but it was on an old phone which Carnival now has, and I'm like, "Have you still got that phone?" And she's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Do you have that photo?" And she's like, "No, I deleted them." So, which was the old mixer equipment, and when we first started podcasting, I was with a bunch of friends, and we sat around tables once a week, and we just made each other laugh by talking about crap. And we said, "Man, we should record this. We should really record this." And so we sat down, and one day I was walking through JB Hi-Fi, and I saw a USB microphone. I thought, well, I have a really, really crap laptop, so does Nat. If we get 2 of those, I can record them from either end of the room, and then we can have a podcast. Don't do that. There's a little thing that I found out the hard way, which is that computers, when you're doing pro audio, like studio pro audio, you have a thing called a universal clock. That's a piece of equipment which makes everything else run at the same time. Laptops don't do that, which means if you record an hour's worth of audio, you'll be talking like this, and then you'll sort of get this sort of shifting motion as the audio sections like drift out of alignment and back in. So you've actually got to go through piece by piece and cut them up. So having a mixer that we can actually plug all sorts of stuff into is great. But I'm guessing that you guys are here because you might actually be interested in hearing
You're all
about
interested
podcasts, or making your own. And
Yeah.
you need 3 things to do a podcast. You need one of these,
This is a microphone.
and you need one of these,
This is a me.
and you need one of these.
This is a photo.
Right, stick it in there.
I'm going to say podcasting is general, like recording your voice and sticking it on the internet and having people listen to it. It's really, really easy these days.
Yeah.
Used to actually be quite hard. Podcasting nowadays is actually a term that's generally used for any audio stuff online. It used to be you've got a 5 to 10 minute chunk of audio that makes you learn something, and it's small. Whereas things like talk radio shows, like what we do with ActFurOnAir, nowadays they're like our show goes for an hour and a half. And it's still called a podcast.
Question. Where does the pod prefix come
I
from?
will actually get.
Oh, thank you.
It's wonderful you asked that. I didn't even tell him to do that.
I generally don't know.
The term comes from the massive boom that this sort of audio stuff had when iPods first came onto the market. Is everyone's like, "Oh, look, I can take my stuff around, and it takes these MP3s, and they're wonderful, small quality, and all sorts of things." And so everyone started having these radio casts on their iPods, and they just got nicknamed podcasts. And that's what the Apple iTunes had them labeled as podcasts to go onto your iPod. So in doing so, they sort of got this kitschy media marketing label, and ended up being able to broadcast out on the internet. But
And regular folk like us have to lug their
the
etymology
boom
around.
onto recording equipment. Yeah, back in the cold and desolate eras before the World Wide Web, people who wanted to broadcast their ideas would have to send the recordings into a RCS, or a radio computing service, which would play community messages. So you prepare something for 5 minutes, you call them on the phone, and you go blah 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 blah, my opinion. And
They tell you to bugger off.
yeah, basically. And they broadcast it out on normal radio. And you can these days, you can still hire out a commercial radio stations. You can join up with them for like $30 a year, and anytime that they're not recording, you can go into their studio and use their equipment. It's great.
See, even I didn't know this.
Yeah, it's
This is
cool.
brilliant.
You should do it for your segment, and then you can play with me. And your segment will come along and be like, oh, we'll just do that.
I'll start my own podcast called G'day Furland.
Taking that.
You should. It's like morning breakfast.
I love you too
Good
much.
morning.
He's grown too big, he's left you there.
It'll be me talking about Mega Man for an hour and a half.
Oh.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I can hear the pain.
Well, it was in about do you guys remember Napster?
Yes.
The name
Yeah.
Napster. And that was really the big kicker for P2P sharing. And it was a sharing program that allowed people to blissfully transfer a multitude of legal pirated music, genres, information, and porn. Lots of music and porn. In fact, they got shut down, and there's still the legal case going on over digital distribution and legal file sharing of music, because the music industry doesn't make any money off the album.
Oh, no.
None at all.
How else are they going to buy their gold boats?
Yeah, so basically people shared this stuff, and they just started recording their opinions into a microphone, and they uploaded to something, and then other people would hear it. So it was around 2004 that this dude called let me see my notes, Dave Winder, developed a special RSS that scanned RSS feeds on the web for MP3 files, which was sort of what really started the boom of people being able to subscribe to a podcast. Because it would go scan MP3s, and then you'd be able to download them like that. It's what basically
It's like having a subscription,
yeah, basically it's like having a subscription.
but it's free.
It's free.
I really should have typed up that document.
Yeah, pretty much. I've been concentrating on the live show for later on. So I'm in charge. Yeah, basically, I want to just get an opinion from you guys. How many of you are interested in maybe starting up your own podcast?
3, 4.
The glowy one. Jeez, it blinks. That still blows me away.
I know that guy.
It's Markov, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool? Putting a little recording unit in a fursuit head and recording a podcast as you're walking around the suit.
Yeah, half the audio will be.
What? How would it be?
I really like hot dogs.
Okay. You just bored yourself, but you've got a fursuit head. Is that how you do your fursuit? You wander around talking about hot dogs to yourself?
Doesn't everybody? Why do you need a suit?
I know I do. Anyway. Yeah, basically the thing that made podcasting really popular is that, you tune onto your radio station. Now, you guys in Melbourne, how many radio stations do you have? Roughly. Canberra, we have 9. That's it.
I don't know, if you're thinking popular ones, we have about 5.
5?
5 popular ones.
Could count sin.
Okay. Well, that's pretty general.
5 major radio stations.
I thought, I'll do something nice for these guys. I'll do a bit of research to point out why digital music and digital broadcasting is so, wonderful for, and why it's slowly killing the radio star, so to speak. And I'm going to throw up here. This is just, I went to iTunes, and I opened it up and I took a screenshot of all the radio stations. And it's actually been a while since I went onto iTunes, but they got a lot bigger because
Where's us?
started taking a screenshot. That's up to D.
Whoa!
In a single channel.
Okay, for those of you
Yeah.
listening at home to the audio of this, that's an epic list of like 200 or so different shows.
More than 200.
There's a whole bunch of them with the same length of the name, so that's kind of sus.
And a lot of them will actually be just
Oh!
stations with different bit rates and stuff like that.
Can I read them from the top?
No.
Oh, absolutely. French Club, A number 1, ABC Dance, Abruzzi.
Oh, this is just electronica.
Yeah, this is just the electronica.
621
This
streams.
is the phone book trick. You just check absolutely before the name of your regular type podcast, so it's something at the top of the list.
Yeah.
No, you can't
Just
put
like-
an apostrophe there.
Where's us? We're not there.
We are in iTunes. We are in iTunes.
You're not under
Not under electronica.
Oh, we should be, shouldn't we? Our podcast should have more points.
Okay, when I make a podcast, it's going to be called Bar.
What was your original name? Good morning, Furland.
G'day, Berlin.
Aardvark, good morning, Furland.
Absolute good morning, Furland.
And every sentence will start with Aardvark.
Every opening paragraph. Shows the
Yeah, the thing that will really, really make a podcast good is, I think, a heck of a lot of hard work, because you really do want to polish everything up as well as you can.
Technical term for that is elbow grease.
Elbow grease, yeah, lots and lots of elbow grease. And couple of guys here, we were talking earlier about the fact that they want to start their podcast. They're audio engineers, which is fantastic, because they'll know things like what compression is and bit rates.
And
I
they're
know, I
engineers.
learned it through trial and error, actually.
Well, they're engineers, so they can also
My uncle is an audio engineer. My uncle's an audio engineer. He lives down here in Melbourne. And I went and visited him and said, Uncle Rusty. His business is called Rusty Nails because it's Russell and Arnold. It's just... no, okay. They do
He's hilarious.
currently hit harder financial times on principle. Because for the last decade, he's been doing Christmas albums. Why everybody needs a new Christmas album every freaking year, he doesn't know. But he starts recording Christmas albums in March. And they do the singing, and they do the editing through to September, October. And then he gets a month gap, and they start playing them. So he eventually got so sick of it that he was like, no, stop it, I'm not doing it anymore, I'm going to do something else. But I went up to his place, and I was like, I want to start a podcast. He's like, do you want a mixer? Back then I was earning like $7 an hour. No, I was actually working at a place called the Deli Corner with a very, very, very tiny, angry Middle Eastern lady called Zena.
This is the point where I realised Kraden is hilarious.
No, I'm trying to be funny. These are just the terrible things in my life. So I got this mixer, and there's a thing called noise in audio. And noise is... Carl's gonna hate that. Just go rip off his headphones and go, the ear cancer! It was all part of our plan. But yeah, noise on the line usually comes from electronics that are rusted, wet, old, crappy, poorly put together, too much of them, electromagnetic interference or contact.
All made in China.
I think this was all of them, and on top of that, it was actually 33 years old. And we had this wonderful time when we had a friend into the studio, which was my friend Nat's spare room. We just set up a table and plugged this thing in, and I panicked and tried to get everything working. And he was just talking, and he was just like, yeah, it's really good. The microphone just died. We don't know why, he just faded out every couple of seconds. So that was the Taking Up Space podcast. I really, really learned to ramble because that was our entire purpose. We said our mission statement for this podcast is going to sit there and take up more and more data space on the internet with random crap. And we went about it with gusto, okay?
Mission statement success.
Yeah. But yeah, that sort of collapsed in on itself through a couple of breakups and friendships and things like that.
Mail.
Drama.
Yeah, basically the drama alarm came in, spat in all our faces, and they're like, what the crap? But I still have the podcasting bug. And so I turned to my girlfriend at the time, Janira, and I said, would you like to do a podcast? She's like, huh? I was like, wait!